What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So over the past few months, we've been getting a lot of reports that lawmakers want this and they want that. Well, finally, we're starting to see some changes. Today, I want to talk about paid sick leave and how one specific state is going to be offering this coming up. We are talking about multiple states that already have paid sick leave in place, and you may not know this. We're also going to address how mask mandates are going to be lifted very soon in many states. And right now, some are saying it is finally happening. We are getting back to normal. So if that's something that you're excited to hear about, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and let's get right into it. So today, I want to address who could be getting more help, which states are going to be lifting these mask mandates, and how this pandemic could be waning on us. Now, the American people are eager to get back to normal. But here's what you need to understand. For months, lawmakers have been requesting help for the American people. These are things that were included, like stimulus checks, enhanced unemployment benefits, increased wages, more affordable health care, even paid sick leave. All these things were being requested by lawmakers. But until recently, many thought that some of these provisions were simply impossible to get. However, multiple state officials have been fighting for what the federal government can't get done: a lack of additional stimulus to the American people. Now, finally, we're starting to see some movement. We're starting to see some help coming to people in specific states. Now, even though I may not talk about your specific state in today's video, just understand that many states are looking into help such as paid sick leave due to COVID at this time. So even though I may not address your state specifically, just understand that it could be coming very soon. But here's what we know. At this time, California and Illinois, they're planning on enacting legislation to provide paid sick leave to people that are out of work due to COVID. Now, just so you know, California just recently, within the last couple of hours of making this video, passed this piece of legislation. So then currently, states such as Massachusetts, Colorado, New York, all have legislation in place that mandates employers must pay sick leave to any employee that is out due to COVID. Now, there's another 5 states I want to bring up. And these include Nevada, New Jersey, Oregon, Rhode Island, and Washington State. These all have paid sick leave laws that, even though they aren't specific to COVID, they do apply. So if you in one of these states, Nevada, New Jersey, Oregon, Rhode Island, and Washington, if you get sick or ill due to COVID, then you are required, the employer is required to pay you sick leave. So there's many states that are actually covered under this at this time. But just recently, like I said, California's legislator, they extended the COVID sick pay for all employers with 25 employees or more. Now, let me address how this is going to work, because this is new. This will now require employers to pay 40 hours of sick pay for any isolation. This means if you have to be isolated for 5 days, then that employer will have to pay 40 hours. If you're required to isolate for 10 days, the employer will still only pay for 40 hours. They will also pay for time off if you have to go get a vaccine or a booster shot. They will also pay for workers to care for their family members. That's big. And here's another one. In addition, if you are considered a close contact and you must isolate, your employer will be required to pay you for time off while you await test results. So it's going to cover everything. Now, this new provision, here's the great part about this. If you live in California, okay, and you're covered under this, what you need to keep in mind is from January 1st, 2021, so retroactive over a month, all the way through September of 2022, okay? Or did I say January 1st of 2021? Excuse me. January 1st of 2022 all the way through September of 2022. Okay, it's going to be retroactive. So if you've been out for any amount of time, you can get retroactive pay from your employer. That's pretty good. That's big. That means this is going to be a huge win for many families. And I was reading through Twitter just a short while ago. Many families were ecstatic about this because in the past few weeks, many people have gone to work, contracted COVID, had to stay home, didn't get any sick pay, and yet when they got their check, they got $20, $200, $180. I think somebody got, they were negative because they had to pay for their health insurance. And so they actually owed money to the company. They owed money to their company. How crazy is that? So anyway, that is good that's retroactive through January 1st, 2022. So this should help out a lot of people. Now, the reason why I want to bring this up, even though I know a lot of people are saying, well, I don't live in California, it's because many states are considering providing more for their residents. And one of the best ways to do that with the additional money that they've received from the previous stimulus packages, use some of that $350 billion, give it back to the residents, give it as sick pay, stimulus checks, right? More health cover, whatever it may be. And as I said recently, states were just waiting. They were just waiting. That's all they were doing. They were waiting to see what the federal funding bill, the government funding bill was going to look like. But at this time, it doesn't look like that's going to pass. It will most likely be a continuing resolution, not an omnibus bill, which means they still don't know if there's going to be additional funding for certain projects. So right now, according to reports, states are likely to pass additional legislation in order to help out their residents. So that is good news as well. Now, let's talk about the other big news that came out today. That is that many state governors are contemplating removing mask mandates, or at least easing them in the near future. We know the governor of Connecticut, he wants to end the mask mandate for schools and daycares on February 28th, so in just 21 days and 3 weeks. California will lift their mask mandate for vaccinated residents for all indoor places on February 15th. But one thing I want you to keep in mind is that the state mandate, this won't actually remove the mandates from more specific counties like Los Angeles County or the San Francisco County as well. So keep that in mind, that those are the two counties that will still have a mandate. All the other counties won't as of February 15th. We also know New Jersey, they will end their mask mandate next month on March 7th for all public schools. New York is expected to follow very soon. We know Delaware, they're going to lift their indoor mask mandate this Friday. Okay, but schools, they will actually lift their mandate at the end of March. So a little bit of a difference there, but it is because right now they want to make sure that school-age children, that again, not all of them have got the vaccine or at least a booster, but at least that way they are not going to get sick. Schools are going to shut down, and we could start this whole thing all over again. And right now, more states across the country, they're looking into easing into this. They want to get out of the pandemic, and they think the end is near. We're at the end of this pandemic. We're at the end of the road. So this could mean we could return to normal very soon. So just wanted to share that with you because that is some very good news. It's very good news that more states are considering providing paid sick leave, because after reading some of those the comments on Twitter, seeing how people were normally get $800, $1,000 a week, and they're getting $100, $200 a negative balance, that would be very difficult, especially in an economy in a country where the majority of Americans, over 50% of Americans, work paycheck to paycheck. So by not getting their full paycheck in 1 week, they most likely would not be able to pay for all their essentials, pay for their rent, pay for bills, any medication, and especially any emergency that may arise. So that is good news that more states are considering helping out their residents. But again, that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.